Pioneer fans, the Pioneer Junior Varsity men's lacrosse team is live and on the air as we are in the middle of three games this afternoon as the Pioneer women just beat in triple overtime Huron in women's lacrosse. Now it's the JV teams between Bedford and Pioneer battling, and then we'll have the varsity teams after this. Pioneer varsity has lost one game, and that was to Bedford, and Bedford has only lost two games. One of those to an Ohio team, and one we'll talk about that before the varsity match. But should be a good game as they head out onto the field. As Cornell in to take the face off. And forgive me, these gray numbers are awful tough to read. 86, who I don't have on my roster, or that's 66, excuse me. So that was grabbed by Wilson. Wilson into the offensive zone. Wilson takes it back, flips it over, ground ball. That's grabbed, trying to pluck it up, but that pulled the other way. Back there battling as that's picked up back over there by Malley. Malley into the offensive zone. Malley. That back into the midfield area. Is bringing that ahead is Esser. Esser steps over the restraining line. That fired ahead over onto the far wing. Back over to Esser. Esser trying to come down between the hash marks. Sidearm shot. Closest to it is Bedford. So they'll have that Bedford coming in the end line. That launched over. That picked up by Longinus. Moves it, trying to make his way in. Shot, good save out there. Great job to knock it away by, that was McDonald with the excellent save. Now trying to work their way in. That ball loose, raked up. Kicking Mules trying to get to it. Trying to battle back over there is a good attempt by Woods to try and pull that away. That is going to stay Bedford ball. They'll have that in the midfield area. Bedford fired over onto the far wing, trying to work their way in. Over there's Malley. Shot there. Out the end line, they'll continue to be Bedford's ball. Berger with it. Back behind, going over the goal line. Over onto the far wing. That grabbed over there by Braden. Braden back out into the midfield area. Sidestepping, trying to come between the hash marks. Racing over there is Esser. Esser's shot. That got knocked down. Another good save. Raked up. Excellent work back there by McDonald. Well, Pioneer has it. Racing ahead with it. Here comes Provenzola. All the way down onto the far wing. Back underneath the goal line. Extended Pioneer with it. As that's Provenzola over onto the near wing. Back. Picked up over there by Wood. Wood. Over, shot, that grab, save by Bedford. As that's sent out there, Bedford's keeper is Cosi. Here comes Bedford down the numbers. Trying to feed it ahead, working as Smith. Smith over midfield, Smith with the long cross. As Smith fires it down onto the near wing. Racing underneath is Longinus. Longinus going from the near side. Pops that back over, back behind. And trying to come around. Here comes Berger. Berger all the way outside the hash marks on the far wing. Berger switches positions. Berger trying to cut between the hash marks. Berger stops outside the restraining line. Now fires it over onto the near wing. That grab by Braden. Braden on the near wing. Trying to work over there against Omari. Braden lofts it, that all the way back. That'll go out of bounds. Pioneer ball. As they'll have it, that raked up by Frost. Frost, football player as well, racing ahead with it. Frost steps into the midfield area. Frost gets that back over his lawn. That fired ahead. Racing down the near wing over the restraining line into the zone. 15. That flip back over to Lon. Lon has it. Lon over onto the far wing. Now racing over the top there is Farmer. Farmer over onto the near wing. That grabbed over there by Ganger. Back to 15. Shot. Is that one closest to it? Provenzola. He'll have it in along the end line. Provenzola. Trying to come. Now walled off. Provenzola comes over. Shot. And no goal. They're going to say he stepped on the crease. So that's going to be Bedford ball. That launched all the way loose and along the near wing, trying to rake that up as Bedford has it. Coming down the near wing, bring it over is Smith. Smith into the offensive zone. Smith with the long cross. Frost causes a turnover, rakes it up. Frost back behind, fires that over. With it is McDonald. McDonald all the way coming ahead with it. Now here comes Ganger. Ganger racing in. Ganger goes back behind the goal line. Ganger. Now that knocked away, loose. Bedford rakes it up. Trying to pull that away. Bedford, that flip back behind by Bud. Now coming down the near wing, here comes Bedford outside the numbers. That launched, grabbed, bringing it ahead. Longinus goes back behind the goal. Longinus from the near side to the far side. Frost picking him up there. Now over onto the far wing. That's sent back top of the offensive zone over to Esser. Esser moves it over between the hash marks, trying to cut to the near side. That grabbed is Malley. Malley, sidearm shot, good save by McDonald. That raked up, coming down the near wing. Here comes Pioneer, racing ahead with it is Amaro. Into the offensive zone. Amaro moves it over, battle, shot, knocked down. Good save back over there, but a Pioneer player ends up down in the dirt right out in front of the goal there. So that is going to be Pioneer will have the ball. They'll have it on the near sideline. That is Ganger with it. Ganger sends it out top of the offensive zone over to number 15. Launched over there. That will go out the far sideline. Phelan will have it on the far sideline for Bedford. Phelan lofts it over. That grabbed. Now bringing it ahead. Just at right along into the midfield area. Lofted all the way ahead down there by Cozy. Now here comes Bedford over onto the near wing is Berger. Berger has it. Now Berger races underneath the goal line extended. Berger flips it over onto the far wing. Bedford comes top of the offensive zone back over. Trying to get to it. That loose. Berger trying to rake it up back over there with Lajeunesse. Bedford player down on that sideline as he is slow to get up. 4:28 left to go here in the first running clock, but that is paused obviously for an injured player. As a Bedford player down over on the far sideline. We hope they're all right. You love to see all these players play their absolute guts out, but you don't want to see any of them injured. So Bedford player comes off the field. Good round of applause. Love the sportsmanship from both these squads. Clapping, trying to get number for you as I just can't read the number on the side. That is Wilson who goes off. .428 left to go here in the first. Ball on the far sideline. Pioneer with it. Racing down that far sideline is Lon. Lon over midfield. Lon down the numbers. Lon into the offensive zone. Lon. Oh, that tipped grab by Bedford. Stolen away as a good defense. Bedford races into the midfield area. That ball loose, but picked up. Coming down with it is Gibberson. Gibberson stops, lofts that over, picked up and into the offensive zone. Steps is Esser. Esser back in the midfield area. Esser trying to cut to his right. 3:52 left to go here in the first. Scoreless so far. Esser moves it back. That tipped. Loose ball raked up. Coming over the goal line, extended on that far wing. Flipped over. Controlling it back over there. I believe that's Phelan with it, even with the goal. Now moving towards the top of the offensive zone. Excuse me, that is, nope. There's a launch, good save. That was a blast back over there by Wilson. Ball over onto the far sideline. Bedford still has it. They'll toss that over to Wilson. Wilson, top of the offensive zone. Wilson coming down the far hash marks. 3:11 left to go. Wilson stop. Rolls it as that's a underhand shot. That'll go out. Closest to it is Bedford. They will maintain possession. So I believe that's Berger back behind. Berger coming over the goal line extended, being watched back over there by Amari. Ball, top of the offensive zone. Wilson with it. Wilson on the far wing. Wilson coming down the far wing. Wilson even with the goal on the far wing. Now Wilson goes back into the midfield area. Wilson waits. Now Wilson trying to come down the near wing, trying to get around Whitmore. Wilson between shot, and Wilson has the first goal. Bedford puts it in. That at 2:20, Wilson puts it in for Bedford's first goal.
Bedford goal number 66, Landon Wilson.
That at 2:10.
1, Pioneer 0. Scores at 2:20 remaining in the first quarter.
Bedford takes the opening goal. Again, running clock as the early women's lacrosse game went to triple overtime. We have a varsity game after this JV game as well. Ball set for the face-off as Wilson rolls it back, trying to get to it, trying back to rake it up. Back over there's Cornell. And pulled up by Wilson. Wilson lofts it all the way across. Now coming ahead with it is Hill. Hill stops, flips it over onto the far wing. That loose, and racing over trying to get to it is Berger, but he won't get to it. Out of bounds, Pioneer ball with 1 minute 26 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. And over to McDonald. McDonald feeds it ahead. That ball loose. Raked up, coming ahead with it is Provenzola. Provenzola gets over midfield. Provenzola running down the far hash mark. Stops, spins, loses an edge, but gets back. Provenzola gets into the offensive zone. Provenzola down on the far wing. Provenzola fires it over. That's loose. Raked up back over there by Farmer. Farmer sends it back. Picked up back over there by Edwards. Edwards fires it, and that's grabbed. Plucked out of midair by Cozy. That ball back over, fired ahead. Raked up by Pioneer. Still trying to get to it. That's grabbed. Farmer with it. Farmer at the restraining line. Moves it over. Shot there. Loose. Raked up. Excuse me, I actually have 283s. That might be Kuntz as opposed to Cozy in goal. Now racing ahead with that is Smith. Smith back in his defensive zone. Gets it back over. Kuntz trying to get folks to go downfield. Kuntz launches it all the way downfield on a hop. That picked up, but at the end of the first quarter, 1-0 as it is Bedford up 1-0 on Pioneer. Let's play a little bit of the MHSAA, and we'll be right back with your second quarter action.
You have to wonder sometimes how folks in the stands, so far removed from the action and who have probably never had any training, actually think they can see the play and apply the rules better than the officials assigned to a game. If you're that good, please register immediately at MHSAA.com. We need more officials on the playing surface and fewer in the stands. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
We do want to quickly thank the sponsors, if I can find that list here. As do want to say that there is plenty of former Pioneer players as on the coaching staff here, as Peter Gormley, former Pioneer player, as well as I'm not sure about Vaughn Schmitz, but Wilson Ayer and Jake Kinsheriff, assistant coaches, absolutely. No, they were former Pioneer players. And, of course, on the assistant coach on the varsity team, Nate Uhas, former quarterback and player on the Pioneer lacrosse team. Take a look. Those platinum sponsors are Edwards and Schaefer Orthodontics, Gagos Center for Fertility, Gagos Specialty Eye Institute, Ganger Dermatology, Grease Saber Dentistry, a Venue, Ron's Garage, Wentzler's Gear, Joe's Pizza, and Kapnick Insurance. Gold sponsors includes Nothing Bundt Cakes, Anderson Paint, First Martin Corporation, Jen Rosenberg Consulting, PLJ Lacrosse, Blue Jays Lacrosse, Sassy Lincoln, State Liberty Clothing, Venue, Mr. Spots, Ariel Hurwitz Green, Real Estate Broker, Ufer and Company, Varsity Ford, Meadowlark Design and Build, and Buffalo Wild Wings. Silver sponsors are Mac Repair, Arbor Mac Repair, and we'll talk about those more as we get ready here for the draw to open this second quarter. Bedford has it coming away into the offensive zone, as that is Wilson with it. Wilson flips that over. Bedford in the midfield area, as that is Esser with it. Esser waits for substitutions to come on. Esser just outside of the zone, now moves it over onto the near wing for Berger. Berger shot that one. Good job by McDonald to get a piece of it all the way out. Closest to it back over there was Yaki. In along the end line, Yaki. In the far corner. Yaki gets a screen. Yaki being watched over there by Cole. And all the way out. Shot, knocked down. Closest to it, Berger. Berger runs it out. That'll stay Bedford ball. No, excuse me, forgive me. Pioneer ball. It's coming ahead with it, racing down the near side. Here comes 15 for Pioneer. Trying to get over midfield and out of bounds. Bedford with the ball right at midfield. Raked up over there by Gringer. Gringer fires it ahead, brought in by Berger. Berger has it. Berger rolls it over. In the midfield area, Esser with it. Esser steps on the restraining line, now moves it over to the near wing to Berger. Berger trying to work his way around, swing move. Berger back out in along the numbers. Berger looks like he was going to try a sidearm. Now Esser has it back right at the restraining line. Esser. Stutter steps to his right. Esser. Walled off back over there. Esser back into the midfield area. Esser, he felt that as a big over on the near wing. Berger with it. Berger steps between the hash marks. Berger trying to get past. Berger spins. Berger ends up down on the ground. Loose ball. Trying to come away with it. Still trying to grab it there. Battle for it as it pops up high. Grabbed out of midair. Berger has it. Berger over the restraining line. Coming down the hash marks on the far wing. Berger, even with the goal, now steps underneath the goal line extended. 9 minutes, 15 seconds left to go before halftime. That ball launched out. Esser has it. Shot. Great save by McDonald. McDonald with a good save. I believe there may have been a flag there, so that is going to be 1 minute for slashing as Whitmore goes off for slashing. So Bedford will maintain possession. Pioneer will be man down. There's the whistle as bringing it ahead. Back top of the offensive zone is Wilson. Wilson now fires it over onto the far wing. Back over to Wilson between the hash marks. That's lost, but raked up by Esser. Esser sets back into midfield here. Esser, sidearm shot. That one goes wide all the way back to back onto the field. It'll get raked up as Bedford will have the ball in along the end line. Sent back to Berger on the near wing. Berger shot there. That goes wide. And back behind there is Yaki. Yaki will have it on the far wing. Yaki fires it all the way back. That'll slip into the midfield all the way back, and that's going to be an over and back Pioneer ball. 7:49 left to go here in the first, 1-0. It's Bedford with the lead, Pioneer with possession. That ball will be in the midfield area. Lon will come over and rake that up. Pioneer will start there. Lon coming down the near wing. Lon into the offensive zone. Lon coming just outside the numbers. Gets a screen from Farmer. Lon firing it right back behind. Grabbed over there. Bringing ahead is Provenzola. Provenzola. Back behind Provenzola. Stops directly behind the goal. Provenzola. Working his way. Trying to head towards the goal line. Extended Provenzola. It's over the goal line. Extend. Shot and a goal! Waved off. No goal. No goal. Crease violation. Crease violation. That ball quickly fired ahead by Kuntz. Now coming down with it, here comes Bedford into the offensive zone. Bedford over on the far wing. And sent back. Berger with it on the far wing. Berger heads back into midfield area. Berger. It's it over to Wilson. Wilson on the near wing. Wilson calling out signals. Wilson between the hash marks. Wilson. Swim move, spins with it. Wilson sends it back to Berger. Berger at the restraining line. Berger sent out by the far hash marks. Berger trying to get in against Omari. Sent all the way down, even with the goal on the far wing. Now all the way back behind. Yaki with it. Now over on to, excuse me, over on the near wing. Lingenus. Now Wilson with a shot that bounces high. Over the crossbar, closest to it. There is a flag down. So again, Omari is going to go out for a penalty. Pioneer will be man down. Bedford maintains possession, 5:37 left to go. Here in the second.
Number 11, Ibrahim Omari. A minute for tripping.
Omari has a minute for tripping. Ball out to Berger. Berger on the near wing. Top of the offensive zone to Wilson. Wilson sends it over onto the far wing. Over to Esser. Esser. Now back and along the far wing. That's Gray. Back to Esser. Esser. Over to Berger on the near wing. Shot there. McDonald gets a piece of it. Maintaining position closest to it. Raked up over there by Yaki. Yaki and along the end line. Yaki. All the way back, that tip back into the midfield area. Racing over to get it. Esser trying to rake it up. Knocked down. Now trying to get to it is Pioneer. Ball loose, popped over, still in the midfield area. Now here comes, coming down the far wing. Racing ahead. Is that Berger? I believe it might be. Yep, it's Berger all the way over. Yaki has it. Underneath the goal line, extended over to Wilson on the near wing. Wilson. Slowly walks towards the top of the offensive zone. Wilson now on the near hash marks. Wilson coming over, sidearm shot. Great save by McDonald. McDonald launches it ahead. Here comes 15 for Pioneer. Racing over midfield, coming down the far hash marks into the offensive zone. Launched over. Farmer has it. Farmer comes back towards the top of the offensive zone. Farmer back over to 15. Now sent over underneath. That pulled around by Provenzola. Provenzola back over, top of the offensive zone, back over number 15 for Pioneer. Now on the varsity squad, there's a shot. That'd be Camutin on the varsity squad. 3:45 left to go. That fired all the way down by Kuntz. Knocked away, Pioneer trying to get to it. And stepping in the way was Bergman. Pioneer with it as Wood has it. Wood trying to get away. He takes a huge hit from behind. As that was a huge hit by Yaki. Wood down, flag flies. Yaki will go off. Pioneer will be man up. I believe it was Yaki who went out. Yeah, Yaki took the penalty. So the ball is rolled over on the far sideline.
Penalties on Bedford, number 75, Thomas Yaki. 1 minute for cross-checking.
So cross-checking the call against Yaki. So Lon will have the ball, I believe. So Lon has it. Lon heads over, steps into the offensive zone, gets it back, top of the offensive zone, moves it over onto the far wing. Grabbed, fired down over there by Wood. And trying to get the ball, that just off the tip of Dangerous cross. Out of bounds as the CTN truck leaving as they finished up their broadcast. They were only doing the ladies lacrosse game. 2 minutes, 23 seconds left to go here in the second quarter. 1-0, Bedford with the lead. They have it back behind their own goal as Smith trying to break himself free. Smith running down the hash marks on the far wing. Smith into the midfield area. Smith trying to get outside the numbers. That knocked away. Braked up, headed the other direction. Into the zone as here comes Provenzolo. Provenzolo. And it takes it back behind the goal. Provenzolo. And directly, he moves that over onto the far wing now. Top of the offensive zone, that over to Wood. Wood over on the near wing. Lon with a shot. That just goes wide. Pioneer closest to it as that was Ganger with it. Ganger will rake it up. He'll have it back behind. 1 minute, 35 seconds left to go. Send over onto the far wing to Wood. Wood moves it back. Top of the offensive zone. Over to Templeton. Templeton avoids pressure. That ball back over to Wood. Wood has it on the far sideline. Wood into the offensive zone, down the numbers. And moved right back over. Wood trying to make his way in. Shot as that hit off the post. Grabbed, flipped over, trying to come in. No goal with that is opportunity there. Wood with it. Back behind. Now Lon with a shot.
1 minute remaining in the second quarter.
It just goes wide. Provenzolo will closest to it. Pioneer keeps it with 51 seconds left to go here. 1-0, Bedford with the lead. All over on the far sideline. Ganger with it. Back behind Provenzolo. Trying to work his way around the crease. Provenzolo trying to fire it in. And picked up back behind by Kuntz. Kuntz looks to his left. Kuntz. 27 seconds left to go. Lofts it high. That's grabbed on trying to grab it on a hop back over there was Zodding. Now Bedford trying to come in with it. Over there is Yaki. Yaki back into the midfield area with 10 seconds left to go. Now Wilson trying to get a shot away off the crossbar. Popped up over. Now that fired and grabbed by McDonald, and that will do it. At the end of the first half, it is Bedford 1 and Pioneer nothing. 5 minute halftime. We'll be right back. Let's play a few messages from the MHSAA.
You have to wonder sometimes how folks in the stands, so far removed from the action and who have probably never had any training, actually think they can see the play and apply the rules better than the officials assigned to a game. If you're that good, please register immediately at MHSAA.com. We need more officials on the playing surface and fewer in the stands. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
And let's do our sponsors. Our platinum sponsors are Edwards and Schaefer Orthodontics, Gago Center for Fertility, Gago Specialty Eye Institute, Ganger Dermatology, Grease Saber Dentistry, Venue, Ron's Garage, Winsler's Gear, Joe's Pizza, and Kapnick Insurance. Gold sponsors includes Nothing Bundt Cake, Anderson Paint, First Martin Corporation, Jen Rosenberg Consulting, PLG Lacrosse, Blue Jays Lacrosse, Ceci Lincoln, State and Liberty Clothing, Venue, Mr. Spots, Ariel Hurwitz Green, Real Estate Broker, Ufer and Company, Varsity Ford, and Meadowlark Design and Build, as well as Buffalo Wild Wings. Silver sponsors are Arbor Mac Repair, Produce Station, Deb Odom Stern Real Estate, Underground Printing, Lewis Jewelers, York, Calder Dairy, and the Relaxation Station. Play a few more messages from the MHSAA.
Here are 5 good reasons for high school multi-sport participation. Fewer overuse injuries, less opportunity for emotional burnout, exposure to different kids and coaches, exposure to different roles, and learning to compete better. Being a multi-sport participant can help a kid become a more well-rounded person. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Think of a high school game as a 4-lane highway. Coaches, players, officials, and spectators, each with their own lane. Sportsmanship depends on everyone not crossing over the line. Fans keep it between the lines when they cheer positively for their team. So don't cause an accident. Stay in your lane and let the coaches, players, and officials do their jobs. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. The Michigan Power Ratings will be used this year in soccer, basketball, and boys lacrosse to seed the district tournament in those sports, and you can follow along. Visit your school's page on the MHSAA website to see how your team is faring, and you can look at statewide lists as well. And if you see your team is missing a score, submit it. Learn more about the Michigan Power Rankings at MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Have we gotten to the point where at some high school game that an official has finally had enough from coaches, players, and adults, pulls off the whistle, and offers it to you? Let's hope not. There's no way you could do a better job. It's on everyone to promote good sportsmanship. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Maybe you've seen the videos of the specialized sports parent support group, or the kid holding a press conference to announce his retirement from sports. The problem is, they'd be really funny if there wasn't a lot of truth there. Multi-sport participation provides a healthier experience and lifestyle for kids and families. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Sportsmanship is still relevant in school sports. Good sportsmanship should be a given at our games. It's one of the primary reasons we have school sports to begin with, to help today's young people become tomorrow's community leaders. You can learn more about sportsmanship and download a full kit of sportsmanship ideas from the MHSAA website at MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
As we are about to get going here in the third, it is 1-0 Bedford with the lead here in the JV contest. Varsity men's lacrosse will be next, as it is a very good game between two of the best in the SEC Red, Pioneer and Bedford. Bedford, the lone team to beat Pioneer this season. Pioneer would love to get a little home cooking revenge and split the season series with them. As Cornell ready to take that draw. That's Wilson on the other side. Wilson has it. Wilson coming ahead with it. Wilson steps into the offensive zone. Oh, excuse me. Forgive me. That's not Wilson. That's Great check. Great check. Back top of the offensive zone. Great check. Sends it back into midfield area as he is face off and get off there as Esser has it just in the midfield area, waiting for substitutions to come in. Bergman comes in for Pioneer. Esser trying to cut down the near hash marks. Esser spins. Now Esser flips it back. Top of the offensive zone on the far wing, trying to make his way in, still battling. That ball loose. Trying to rake it up that was Great check, trying to come into the zone, still battling, still trying to pop that out of there. It is a scrum trying to pull that away, raked up by Esser. Esser, top of the offensive zone. Esser. Now over onto the far wing. Trying to shake himself free over there is Malley. Back into the far corner. There's a sidearm shot by Malley, closest to it. With 10:42 left to go, that's going to stay Bedford ball. Craig has it in along the end line. Craig fires it, that all the way back as that'll go all the way to midfield. Raked up, ball lost by Farmer, but a whistle. That's going to be Pioneer's ball over and back. So Pioneer will have it right at midfield with 10:21 left to go here in the third, down by a goal, 1-0. As Edison has it, Edison between the hash marks, Edison into the offensive zone. Edison fires it down on the near wing. That's sent back behind. Shot there. As that's a goal. Number 19, Provenzola. As Provenzola answers it, and we are tied. 9:50.
Number 19, Luke Provenzola. Scores tied at 1.
1-1 is the
9
score.
minutes, 20 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Running clock.
Lena Kunha in to take the face-off. I believe that's Great check again on the other side. Battle for it. Great check rakes it up. Great check. Maintaining possession. Great check into the offensive zone for Bedford. Great check coming in with it. Shot and Great check. Bounce shot puts it in, and Bedford answers right back. Number 36, Great check puts it in.
Bedford goal, number 36, Jason Graycheck. Scores Bedford 2, Pioneer 1. 9 minutes remaining in the third quarter.
Bedford back up by a goal. Great check in to take the face off. Clock continues to count. Cornell to take the face off. Over on the near wing is Phelan, joined over there by Edison. Trying to get that ball, still trying to rake that up, and Edison had it tipped away. Edison trying to rake it up, ball wouldn't work with him. Now Edison has it. Edison fires it on a hop, trying to get to it over to Farmer. Farmer has it outside the numbers on the far wing. Farmer sends it back behind over to Provenzola. Provenzola back as that out in front, tipped away. Ball loose. Provenzola trying to get to it. That brought into the crease. So now Kuntz with it. Kuntz lofts it over onto the far wing as that will just barely stay in. Bedford has it coming down the far sideline. That's lofted ahead. That'll roll all the way towards the offensive zone, trying to rake it up. Edison in there, coming away with it as that's grabbed by Craig. Craig has it on the numbers right at the restraining line for Bedford. That's sent back to Esser. Esser between the hash marks. Esser side steps, now trying to come down the far hash marks. Comes over to the new hash marks. Fired that. Good job by McDonald to tip it away, closest to it. is Bedford. 7:11 left to go. 7:07 left to go. Timeout called by Pioneer. As it's 2-1, Bedford with the lead. Let's play a little push on to get you fired up.
Sportsmanship is still relevant in school sports. Good sportsmanship should be a given at our games. It's one of the primary reasons we have school sports to begin with, to help today's young people become tomorrow's community leaders. You can learn more about sportsmanship and download a full kit of sportsmanship ideas from the MHSA website at mhsaa.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
As it is 7:07 left to go here in the third. 2-1. Pioneer scored, and then Bedford scored on the very next possession about 46 seconds later. Pioneer wanting to get this game tied up, but Bedford has it in the far corner. That's Esser back behind the goal. Esser trying to come to along the far side of the crease. Now sidesteps over to the near side of the crease. Edison watching him. Esser now tries to come to the far side. Esser gets a screen shot there. Knocked down. Loose trying to pull that away. Big battle for it as Cole trying to pick that up. Now grabbed by McDonald. 6:33 and counting here in the third. That looks like a penalty over there. So it was an offsides call.
Offsides penalty on Pioneer, 30 seconds.
So because Bedford had the ball, Pioneer went offsides. Now Bedford man up for 30 seconds.
Blake Edison will take the timeout. Penalty.
Ball over onto the far wing, sent back, top of the offensive zone. With it over there is Malley. Malley shot, and Malley with the score, number 81. Malley puts Bedford up, as that is at 6:06.
Man up goal for Bedford, number 81, Landon Malley. Scores Bedford 3, Pioneer 1.
So Bedford with a 2-goal lead and a 2-goal run. Great check in to take the face off. On the other side is Cornell. All set up for the face off, is spinning, trying to rake it up. Ooh, big hit there. Still trying to get to it. The ball trying to rake up, popped up high. As that's grabbed, coming ahead with it is Hill. Hill in the offensive zone. That's sent back behind. It'll roll out of bounds. That is going to be Pioneer ball. 5:20 left to go here in the third. Pioneer with it along the end line. Frost with it. Frost gets it over to McDonald. McDonald sends it into the midfield area. Quickly over to Edison. Edison up the numbers over midfield. Edison now works his way into the offensive zone. Edison stops, comes between the hash marks. Edison lofts it over onto the far wing as that's over to Wood. Now Farmer has it even with the goal. Farmer trying to work his way up back to Edison. Edison between the hash marks. Edison working in. Bounce shot. That picked up. Grab there by Kuntz. Kuntz still with it. Kuntz lofts it ahead. Grabbed by Bedford. Bedford between the hash marks. Ball loose. Farmer trying to get to it. Ball coming in, and that is going to stay Bedford ball. Kuntz has it in the crease. 4:12 left to go, 3-1. Bedford with the lead and the ball in the midfield area. Fired all the way. Down as that's raked up. Into the offensive zone goes Bedford. Over onto the far wing. That's grabbed back over there by Gringer. Gringer lofts it back over to Esser. Esser in the midfield area. Esser just inside the far hash marks. Esser back there working against Wadding. Esser coming in as there is a whistle, and that's an illegal screen. Pioneer ball.
Illegal screen, Pioneer ball.
3:33 left to go here in the third. As that ball brought ahead by Woods. Woods racing over midfield with it. Woods. And picked up, and coming the other direction is Bedford over midfield. Bedford launches it on the near wing. As over there is Yaki. Yaki back out into the midfield area. In the midfield area is Giberson. Giberson just now fires it all the way on the far hash marks. As that is Malley with it. Malley calling out signals. 2:50 left to go here in the third. Malley over the restraining line. Malley stutter steps to his left side arm shot as that will go out. Bedford closest to it. Craig with it. Craig has the ball in along the end line. 2:33 left to go here in the fourth. Craig now over onto the near wing to Giberson. Giberson outside the numbers. Giberson all the way. That will bounce out of bounds right at the Pioneer bench. That will be Pioneer ball with 2 minutes 16 seconds left to go here in the third. Ball raked up. Here comes Edison. Edison trying to cut between two defenders. Loses the ball but gets it back. Edison coming down the numbers into the offensive zone. Edison trying to make his way in. Edison stutter steps, slips it back behind. Now over onto the near wing. That's sent over to Ganger. Ganger back top of the offensive zone. That over to Wood. Wood over on the far wing to Lon. Lon sends it over to Farmer. Farmer trying to make his way between the hash marks. That shot little high. Closest to it is Pioneer, as that is Ganger with it on the near sideline. Ganger moves it back behind as that ball over to Provenzola. Provenzola over onto the far wing to Farmer. Farmer gets it to Edison. Edison shot. That off the crossbar, pops up high. Grabbed. Here comes Bedford into the midfield area. Ball loose. Bedford rakes it up. As back into the defensive zone. That fired ahead. Loose ball. That raked up by Wood. Wood back into the offensive zone. Ball knocked away from Wood. Raked up. Here comes Bedford. Coming down the near wing. That knocked away. Trying to rake it up back over there is Ganger battling. That ball loose. Lon trying to get to it. Still trying to get it over there is Bud for Bedford. Still loose. Now coming away. Nope. That's on the ground. Now coming away with it back over there is Ganger. Ganger has it back behind. And ball all the way into the midfield area. Now Farmer has it. Farmer. That ball loose. Fired over, back behind, and a whistle.
Timeout for an injured player.
Timeout called. Make sure it wasn't my crowd that's going off. I have the skills to do that. It's timeout called there with 13 seconds left for a injured player there. As popped up as that was Strackheim. So Strachan goes off. Looks like he's going to be all right. "13 seconds left to go here in the third. 3-1. Bedford with the lead here in the JV contest. Varsity up right after this. Both squads come back out onto the field. As both squads getting themselves set. Bringing that ball into midfield area. Here it comes. Racing ahead with it is great check into the offensive zone. Ball bounces, sidearm shot. That will go just wide. That'll be the end of the third. So it's 3-1 Bedford over Pioneer.
Have we gotten to the point where at some high school game that an official has finally had enough from coaches, players, and adults, pulls off the whistle, and offers it to you? Let's hope not. There's no way you could do a better job. It's on everyone to promote good sportsmanship. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Integrity, commitment, love of the game. These traits describe the people high school sporting events can't start without. The officials. They're out there every day giving back to our kids. Let's give them the respect they deserve. Better yet, why don't you become one? Visit the MHSAA website for more information. There's help wanted. Just whistle. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Health concerns in high school sports go beyond physical injuries. The mental well-being of our young people is a hotter topic than ever before. The Michigan High School Athletic Association website has resources to help adults and students recognize potential problems and deal with them in a positive way. You can learn more about these mental health resources on the Health and Safety page of the MHSAA website. A message from the MHSAA promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
As we're headed into the fourth, it is Pioneer down by 2, Bedford 3, Pioneer 1. Cornell to take the face off. And it looks like it's Wilson and not Great check in for the face off for Bedford. Looks like 66, not 36. Ball set. 12 minutes up on the clock, running clock situation. That pulled ahead. Wilson into the offensive zone. Wilson steps back into the midfield area. Wilson will get it over as Esser has it back in that midfield area between the hash marks. Esser waiting for other substitutions to come in. Esser will roll it over. As that is Wilson back in with it. Wilson moves it over onto the far wing. So Berger with it. Berger just inside the numbers. Back to Wilson, top of the offensive zone. Wilson now over on the left-hand side. Wilson slowly walking towards the near hash marks. Wilson stutter steps. Now coming down the far hash marks. Wilson spins. Now steps back out around the numbers. Fires it back over to Berger. Berger sends it back behind. Grab behind back over there as Yaki with it. Yaki now fires it back over to Berger. Berger back to Wilson. Wilson, top of the offensive zone. Wilson now coming, switches positions by Longinus. Wilson, outside the hash marks on the near wing. Wilson being watched over there by Amaro. Wilson trying to head between the hash marks. Wilson lofts it over La Jeunesse. Back over to Berger. Berger, even with the goal on the far wing. Berger sends it back behind. That grab back over there by Yaki. Yaki back over to Berger. Berger trying to feed it. That ball loose. Raked up. Grabbed by Wilson. Wilson steps on the restraining line. Wilson trying to cut away. Wilson on that far hash mark moves it over. With it is La Jeunesse. La Jeunesse. Back over on the near wing to Esser. Esser. Just above the goal line, extended on the near wing. Esser. Trying to stutter step. Esser coming in. Sidearm shot. Esser, number 12, puts it in. Is that at
Goal, number 12.
9:30?
Scores Bedford 4, Pioneer 1.
So Esser
remaining in the fourth quarter.
puts the goal in, and it's 4-1. Bedford with a 3-goal lead. Lalena Kunha in to take the face-off. Wilson on the other side. Wood down on the near wing with Gibberson as that ball raked up by Wilson. Wilson on the far hash marks. Wilson trying to avoid pressure coming down the near numbers. Wilson over the midfield. Wilson gets himself over the restraining line. Wilson now flips that back over to Esser. Esser over onto the far wing. Shot and a goal that's put in by 89, Ginger. Ginger scores. Or Gringer, excuse me. Number 89, that at 8:17.
Bedford goal, number 89, Gabe Greiner.
Greiner,
Scores
forgive me.
Bedford 5, Pioneer 1. 8 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter.
So Gabe Greiner with that goal. Bringing it ahead, 5-1. Bedford with the lead. Wilson. He steps into the offensive zone. Wilson moves it, fires it to the oncoming player. I believe that's Esser, and it is Esser with it. Esser over onto the near wing. Trying to bring it down is La Jeunesse. La Jeunesse outside the near hash marks. La Jeunesse switches positions, even with the goal. La Jeunesse on the near wing. That ball all the way back to Esser. Esser over onto the far wing. Trying to head down that bounce. Racing over, raked up. Back behind by Yaki. Yaki working his way from the near side. Stops directly behind the goal. Yaki fires it all the way onto the far wing. Back over to Esser. Esser at the restraining line. Esser. Sidearm shot. McDonald gets a piece of it. Closest to it is Yaki. 6:40 left to go here in the fourth. Yaki trying to work his way around. Yaki coming to the far side as he was trying to work his way around the crease, but that is going to be Pioneer ball. I believe he may have stepped on the crease there. McDonald has the ball for Pioneer, lofts it all the way towards midfield. That ball off the tip of the cross, pulled, headed the other direction, is Bedford. Ball loose, picked up. Here comes Pioneer coming down the far wing, back behind the goal line. As that's grabbed over there by Ganger. Ganger sends it. Lon racing back to get it. Lon rakes it up back in the midfield area. 5:46 left to go here in the fourth. 5-1. Lon trying to work his way through. Lon coming down the near hash marks. Bounce shot. That one just deflected to the near side. I believe that went off the toe of Kuntz. 5:30 left to go Ganger has it over onto the far wing. Now all the way over. That grab by Templeton onto the near wing. That's Farmer with it. Farmer underneath. Out in front. Lon with the shot. Somehow saved, as that was a great shot, but getting right in the way. Out of bounds. Last touched by Bedford. Valiant attempt to get that by Strackheinz. That is going to be Pioneer ball as Templeton into the offensive zone. 4:47 left to go. Farmer gets the ball back. Templeton chases it down into the midfield area. Templeton fires it down onto that far wing, trying to work. That's sent right back into the crease, and that plucked up there by Kuntz. Wafted high all the way down as Lon trying to get to it. He collides with the Bedford player, but there's going to be a flag, and Pioneer will be a man down. 4:10 left to go. The officials talk it over. Probably an interference call, but we'll see. So illegal body check, 1 minute.
Pioneer penalty on Ryan Law, number 9. Illegal body check, 1 minute.
3:52 left to go here in the fourth. Bedford has it. Esser moves it over. Great check with it. Great check. Back over to Esser. Esser. Between the hash marks. Now over on the near hash mark. Esser moves it over onto the near wing. That's sent back by Braden. Top of the offensive zone. Esser over onto the far wing. There's a shot. Just goes wide. Blast by Graycheck. Out. That's going to stay Bedford ball with 3:17 left to go. Braden with it. Back behind. Now over to Esser on the near wing. Just inside the numbers. Now inside the near hash mark. Esser trying to work himself free. Esser. Sidearm shot there is that ball. Fired ahead as here comes Frost with it. Frost trying to move it ahead to Farmer. That ball loose. Racing trying to get to it. Good job to hold up and rake it up. Sent back over to Farmer. That a little wide. That ball loose. As trying to get to it. Bedford moves it over midfield. They'll have the ball with 2:29 left to go. Racing ahead with a great check. Ball over onto the far wing. Ball loose. Esser has it. Lofted over onto the far wing, trying to work himself free. Shot there. Good save as that blast was by Graycheck. Battleford on the far wing, trying to rake it up. Bedford with it. And trying to pull it away. Still loose. Frost fires it over, and that rolls out of bounds on the near sideline. That will be Bedford ball with 1:43 left to go here in the fourth. Braden with it. Bedford up 5-1. Braden on the numbers on the near wing. Sends it back over to Esser. Esser outside the hash marks. Esser trying to go between the hash marks. Spins back towards the near side. 1 minute, 27 seconds left to go. Esser moves it over onto the near wing. That ball over there for Braden. Braden back to Esser, top of the offensive zone. Sidearm shot. Knocked down. McDonald with it. 1 minute, 12 seconds left to go. That ball blasted all the way down on the near sideline, trying to get it over to our Amaro. Now go out the near sideline. 1 minute left to go here. Bud with it on the near sideline. Bud launches it ahead. That ball loose. Bud rakes it, or that raked up by Braden. Braden trying to get to it. That ball chipped racing, trying to pull it away back over there as that's brought ahead by Bartolassi. Back into the offensive zone. Raked up back over there by Ganger. Ganger trying to send it back. That ball loose and trying to hold it in. Good job by Farmer, but he can't quite do it. Valiant attempt with 18 seconds left, 5-1 Bedford. In control of this game with 13 seconds left and the ball goes in. It's an own goal by Bedford. That with 6 seconds left. And that will do it. So Pioneer falls in the JV contest 5-2 to Bedford. Let us step away. And final score again, 5-2 Bedford with the win. We're going to stop the broadcast and we'll head to the varsity game between these two squads. For my cameraman James Wiseman, my name is Mark Wiseman. We will be right back with the varsity contest.